urban music and with the growth of the urban lifestyle, right? Which has brought you and I to be able to work, successfully for all these years, right? Because freestyle comes from an urban place, not from the urban place that it branched out from an urban place. So, being that we're like that, we should kind of understand, but we shouldn't be judgmental. You know what I mean?
I do understand that, but everything is under the microscope now. Everything is so.
Yeah. When it comes to Hogan, though, and when it comes to the social media age, anything that you've said in the past will always come back to haunt you, just because someone will have, I guess, an agenda. Now, what Hogan said, using the N-word so many times to describe, his daughter's choice in men, right? It comes from a place of insecurity, fear, and again, stupidity, and not understanding what that word really means.
Yeah, and the struggle that African Americans have had throughout the years with that particular word. As a matter of fact, sometimes you don't feel equipped to even talk about that particular subject because it can get very testy, and it can get very sensitive.
I'm not as upset, after hearing after reading it, I'm not as upset for him using the N-word. I'm more upset at the fact that he admitted in the conversation saying, "I am a racist."
Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing, but I mean that's old school rules. People have to be taught; they have to unlearn bad behavior. I mean,
right?
It's just.
For me, it's like I grew up with the good old boys of wrestling. I just finished buying. I just went to Tilly's and I bought myself a Ric Flair T-shirt that they had at Tilly's. I grew up with the Barry Windhams and with the Arn Andersons and the Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flairs. Yeah, the superstar Billy Grahams. But none of those guys had as much influenced by black culture as Hulk Hogan. Well, Dusty did for a while when he was doing the polka dot outfit. But
even before that, his whole spiel was based on African American culture. I mean, everybody knows that. His rap,
right? And Hulk, forever using the word brother. Brother was a term, what black people would call each other.
Right.
Back in the day, it was a term. It's still a term in the hood today. We try to change it around, to say that that's how you feel about the person, but it's just a term to describe someone who is like you. You get what I mean?
Yeah, but let me ask you this: if you be in the WWE, would you have fired him?
I would have, honestly, I think I would have suspended him first, found out exactly what was going on, and then probably fired him later.
Okay.
So I would, the immediate firing is like a way of to divert attention.
Right.
You get what I mean? It's a diversion of attention. But he is so important, But
it's hypocritical, though, because years ago, Vince McMahon used that word on live television.
Yes. And years ago, Booker T used that word on live television.
Yeah, which is funny, too, because I was about to blame Booker T, because, as a matter of fact, in the interview that he did with Wiz Khalifa, I believe, he mentioned Booker T right off the bat, I talk to Booker T like that all the time. I say that to Booker T all the time. I'm like, yeah, I remember because Booker T addressed you that way in a promo.
Did you see today on TMZ, Virgil turned around and said that he felt that Hulk Hogan was not a racist?
Well, Virgil said a lot of things. I mean, last weekend he said there's a lot of African Americans on WWE TV You're welcome. It's what he said. I'm like, yeah, like Virgil's responsible for the primetime players and you know, and the other groups that they have.
Well,
ridiculous.
He's one of the many pioneers, but I would rather more
Rocky
than him,
Johnson and Tony Atlas are pioneers.
And Tony Atlas and even Coco Beware. You know what I mean? Like, you got to give people like that credit for being there before it. You know, I'm sorry, you guys. You know, me and CPR are really, really, really wrestling nerds. Like on Monday morning, I was texting him about the pay-per-view the night before, and complaining about the state of wrestling and how, you know, how bad it is currently.
Right.
You know, and I love the sport, but you know, like, you know, when you love it, when you're an enthusiast as he and I are. We see the mistakes and we see, you know, how the storylines could be a lot better. You know, we know that it's a male, you know, superhero soap opera, if you will. But, you know, and we all know it's fake. I don't want you to think that we're grown men thinking that it's real. We all know it's fake. It's a male novela, and
right,
you know,
and it's part of our Puerto Rican. It's part of our Puerto Rican culture. It's part of Latino culture. In Mexico, wrestling is rampant and very popular. In Puerto Rico, I mean, my great grandmother, my grandfather, everyone.
In Mexico, it's probably the second largest national sport in Mexico, next to soccer.
Yep.
So you know, like, and it has a lot of lineage, a lot of great Mexican wrestlers influenced me to like wrestling, like El Santo.
Right.
You know, in Puerto Rico it was Carlito Colon and Huracán Castillo.
Oh man, you know. My grandmother when Carlito Colon would wrestle Abdullah the Butcher, and Abdullah would bring out the fork. Oh my God, forget about it. You know, she's just in her rocking chair, going crazy.
There was a guy, I don't know if you ever remember, but there was a guy back in the late 80s or mid to late 80s. His name was Pampero Firpo.
No, never heard of him.
And you Google him, Pampero Firpo, right?
Is he from Holyoke?
He used to come out, he was Argentinian, he used to come out with a file, and he would file his teeth down before the match.
Wow. Ugh. Dentera.
You know, he was crazy. He looked like one of the Wild Samoans.
Dentera. That's what I would get.
Yeah. And he used to get into these huge ass brawls with Abdullah the Butcher in Puerto Rico, and they would leave the ring bloody. It was like, it was carnage. And I was like, I was a little kid watching these, you know, these big wrestling matches in my hometown in Ponce, and I'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. You know, and these guys would purposely cut themselves.
Yeah.
You know, at that time I thought it was real. They would purposely cut themselves and bleed to death. You know, like you look at Ric Flair's forehead or, you know, or God bless the dead, Dusty Rhodes' forehead, and you see how much they gave for that sport, because basically it was, you know, their foreheads were basically like scarred for life.
That would be my grandmother with Carlos Colon and Abdullah. I mean, she would just go nuts. And that's how I got into pro wrestling. My great-grandmother would sit down Saturday mornings and watch Carlos Colon go against Abdullah, and I was hooked. And then when I came to Connecticut, you know, my grandfather was watching the NWA at the time, and man, when Barry Windham betrayed Lex Luger to join the Four Horsemen, forget about it. I mean, that was it for me. You know, so,
yeah, that was it for me. I became, you know, as a kid, I always rooted for the good guy, and as soon as I saw the Four Horsemen, I was like, the charisma of Flair was, you know, that I think that Ric Flair is like the to me, he's like the blueprint for most wrestling bad guys.
And for me, the best tag team of all time are Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. There was nobody that could compare to those two. I love the Road Warriors, but Arn Anderson and Tully, Brain Busters, whatever you want to call them, my favorite of all time. They just blended together so well, and they were just a great tag team. And they would take a nice butt whooping, but they can also like cheat. Like there was a time where when these guys cheated, it was classic cheating. Like there was one time they were wrestling the Rockers and WWE, and they tied the shoelace.
Do you think that we just lost? Wait, hold on a second. Do you think we just lost all the listeners?
No, absolutely not. I think Matthew the Jesus and a whole bunch of wrestling fans are listening. But it's just the passion that we have for pro wrestling is one that you can't compare to anyone. But I'm really happy that we're having this discussion. I mean, it's better than talking about stuff that really it's irrelevant and doesn't matter. Except for the fact that you're going to be hosting CPR's Clubhouse Freestyle Reunion. And I can't wait to have you here. It's happening on Friday, August 7th, 2 weeks away, 2 weeks from today. It's going to be right here in Springfield at the International Beer Garden, 1600 Main Street in downtown Springfield. What's your favorite number from 1 to 10?
My favorite, well, it's kind of obvious. Honest to God, my favorite number is honestly, it's not 7. My favorite number is actually 2. So
number 2. All right. So right now, anyone listening, if you could tell me who was number 2 on CPR's Top 10 Countdown this week, and give me a call at 736-2781, you're going to win a free ticket to the CPR's Clubhouse Reunion, featuring my guest right now, K7, as the host. Performing live will be Adelise, Mr. Jay Allums, George Anthony, Jennifer Jimenez, Vocal Image, and a host of others. We have a pre-show at 10 o'clock with Shy and 6 Cents with Taina, and a friend of yours, Ty Bless, will be here as well.
Yes. My kid brother.
Yeah, the one of the best underrated hype man of all time.
and don't forget the special tribute to DJ Porky.
Yes,
please.
Definitely not going to forget that. It's going to be a touching moment, and Willie Valentine is going to help produce that. And I hope I can compose myself or hold myself together. Porky's family will be there as well, and something that we're going to celebrate his life. It's kind of crazy because he made a lot of this happen.
Does that mean, because Willie's there, does that mean I have to wear my artistic cap?
Yeah. We're all going to be wearing the artistic cap, and we're going to be encouraging people to bring glasses, black glasses, and then put a little white sticker in the middle in memory of DJ Porky. As you may or may not be aware, he was featured in a reggaeton video, and he played like a nerd, like an Urkel character, where he was announcing the artist. And I see it in the picture you have. I see it right there. So everyone is encouraged to wear the glasses and put a sticker on it, just to take pictures together to pay homage and tribute to DJ Porky Benji Castro.
All right, listen. So we're giving whoever guesses what the number 2 song was, right? Gets these tickets. But could you do me a favor? Because I tuned in a little late. I heard you play "Slow It Down" for me, but who's on? Name the songs that you played
on the Top 10 Countdown.
Yes, not in the right order, but what did you play?
Wild Style, "Take Me Home." I'm not sure if you heard of this female group. They're amazing. You got to check out the video. Yeah, they're amazing. They're a throwback. They are children of parents who listen to freestyle. And as a matter of fact, TKA and K7 may be one of their influences. It may be in their profile. But they're 2 young ladies, beautiful, and they put this song together called "Take Me Home." And as a matter of fact, they borrowed sounds from the 80s, and the video is pretty much the 80s as well as on YouTube. It's pretty amazing. Of course, Sammy Zone, number 1 this week.
Okay.
So, he sent that check in. It didn't bounce, so I figured let me put him at number 1.
Congratulations to Sammy. Me, George Lamont, and Suave were at his video shoot a couple of weeks ago. And I'm really proud of Sammy. He's been working really hard to get good music out there. And, he's hustling. I wish he wasn't online so much, but, he's doing all that he can do to make things happen. Yeah,
I mean, the thing with social media is everybody gets that way in, and I've been talking about this.
Listen, the hell with social media. It's about music. Let's talk about music.
Exactly. No, but with Sammy, like they get him. Like he just has his temper. He's Latino, of course. He's like nobody's gonna get me.
Yeah.
I got him so mad one time. He took the bus here and knocked on my door. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, Sammy, what are you doing here? Are you free for dinner? I'll bring you back home. Don't worry about it.
But he's a good dude. Okay, what are the other records?
We had George Anthony, "Nothing Like Your Love" and "Alone." He got 2 songs on the countdown.
Proud of him.
Angel Mena, "Breakaway." I'm not sure if you had a chance to sample that song, but great vocal showing. Okay. Also, Jill Terrell is on here.
Homegirl Jill.
Yeah, Jill Terrell. 6 Cents.